everyone, and welcome back to Sip and Spin. My name is Skylar, and over here in a t-shirt with a girl crying on it is Brittany.
Hello. It says soda, but I like to think it's boys' tears.
I love that.
So I just kind of cover up soda. And if people ask, what is she drinking? Boys' tears.
As she should.
Yes. We are a variety podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing. This episode will be nothing.
Literally all nothing. Just from the time now to the time we end, it's going to be absolutely nothing.
And you might be thinking, that's all of your episodes. No. There are no notes today.
Literally, no
It feels
notes.
very weird because I was like, I didn't prep. I didn't take any research. I was like, oh, wait. I don't have to.
Yeah, I was sitting there because, today, I'm off work today. And I haven't done my notes yet. And then I was like, wait, what was our topic? And then I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to take notes this week.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, it's weird.
It was very, unnerving kind of feeling. Feeling like you were forgetting something important, and then it's just like, no. And why is that?
Well, because this week, our topic is just chatting.
Yes.
We stole the category from Twitch.
It's fine. They're dying.
Twitch, please don't sue us. I know
They can't afford.
Oh, I was like, I know you're struggling right now, but you're not going to get anything out of it. It's going to be a waste of your time.
Yeah. I think we're not worth the trouble. And what are we drinking?
So we are drinking white wine.
Do you want to tell the story of the white wine?
Fucking
Since
hell.
We're just chatting.
So we're drinking a Sauvignon Blanc, and I have no idea if it's any good or not. It's the first bottle of wine I picked up that I saw at the store because it's raining here tonight.
Pretty bad. It's been all day.
Yeah, it's been
2 days.
All day raining, and it rained last night. So I'm out driving in the rain, trying all these wine stores that say they're open till 8. And I get there, and only the fourth store I get to was open. The other 3 were all closed. I was like, what the fuck? So by the time I got to the fourth store, I just picked up the first bottle I saw. I was like, this is a white wine. We're going with it. And so now we're here, and it was stressful, and I hated every second of it.
Oh, no.
But
for you.
No Tomorrow did come on shuffle while I was driving, and it was on when I got to the fourth store that was open, and that made me feel a little bit better because No Tomorrow, I found that song in season Young of Young Royals, and now I really like that song because it was in the show, and I listen to it all the time, and I love it. And season 2 of Young Royals is coming out in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
November 1st.
Guess I know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I heard Netflix, they're soon going to weekly releases. Is this show going to be part of that, or is it going to be, bingeable again?
I fucking hope not. It better be bingeable. I need all... Because season 1 was 6 episodes, and I need... If season 2 is going to be the same, I need all 6 episodes right then. I want to be able...
I don't know when they're implementing that, but I have heard that Netflix was thinking of doing that with, all of their shows.
Netflix, if you're listening, don't do that. Actually, that sucks. That's the worst idea ever. Please do not do that.
And it's wild because it kind of defeats the purpose of Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just TV then. It's just cable.
Which, arguably, they've been leaning that way for a while now, recently, I would say. But yeah, the whole point of Netflix is just, bingeable content.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems very weird. Plus, they did have that whole thing with, sharing accounts. They, deleted a bunch of people's accounts because people were sharing their accounts with people.
Mm.
And they keep raising their prices. Netflix is just on thin ice with me anyway.
Yeah.
And now with the whole Witcher thing.
I do not like that Henry Cavill is no longer the Witcher. I do not like that at all.
I don't either, but I also don't think I blame him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try this one.
Okay, let's try this wine, and then
we'll keep shitting on Netflix.
Cheers! I mean, it tastes like a Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's wine.
It's not bad.
I've had much worse.
We've had Ghost Runner wine.
We're gonna have to drink it on the 100th episode again or something. We're gonna have to do something with Ghost Runner again. You keep talking about it.
Because it was that awful. It sticks out in your mind.
We'll have to do it for a drink we don't like sometime.
My cheap ass $5 vodka that I bought for that one episode that we recorded in the morning was better than that Ghost Runner wine.
You're not wrong.
And it was a $5 bottle of vodka. It was a whole fifth of vodka. It was 750 milliliters of vodka. $5. And it was better than the Ghost Runner wine.
You are correct. Yes. But now I'm just like, we're gonna have to do it for a drink we don't like or something sometime.
Because I'm starting to run out of things I don't like.
I know.
Like, I can't even drink whiskey for not like anymore because I like whiskey now.
Yeah.
Unless I drink, like, Jameson or Eagle Rare. But I'm not going to spend money on Eagle Rare to...
You don't like Jameson? Just
No.
because you don't drink it enough, or it's just you don't like the
I don't like
taste?
I don't like the taste of Jameson. My favorites are Buffalo Trace and Wild Turkey. Those are my favorite whiskeys.
It's very funny that you like Wild Turkey, because that arguably that's a lot of people's least favorite whiskey.
I love it.
I think it's fine, but it's my 60-year-old stepdad's, like, whiskey of choice. So it's just so funny to me that you guys are on par.
I am your 60-year-old stepdad.
So I'm just like, great.
Look at how I'm dressed right now. I am a 60-year-old. I'm wearing mom jeans and an AC/DC shirt and a gigantic shacket.
You look very cozy.
I feel very cozy. I was sad today, so I put on my stuff.
Why were you sad?
And it's seasonal shit.
I gotcha.
Yeah, with the rain and the days are getting shorter, which I love fall and I love winter, but with the days getting shorter and then it being gloomy because it's been raining all day, I've just been like, I really don't want to get out of bed.
That's fair. I get that. But yeah, so if anyone didn't know, so season 3 of The Witcher is coming out later this year, early next year. I'm not even really sure when season 3 is coming out. But The Witcher got renewed for season 4, but with the announcement that Henry Cavill is leaving it and being replaced by Liam Hemsworth, of all fucking people.
Weird.
Which, fine. If you have to, I don't understand why Liam Hemsworth, for the life of me. Someone older would have been the choice. Because if Geralt's getting older in the series, like, go with an older actor. Go with a more daddy actor, please, and thank you.
When they first, like, hinted that Henry Cavill was probably leaving the show, wasn't it Matt Bomer who was supposed to...
See, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Or I've seen, like, so many suggestions on, like, TikTok. Like, people are not happy. I don't think it's going to do well.
Yeah, Matt Bomer, the guy from White Collar.
Yeah, he's a pretty man.
Okay,
yeah.
I couldn't think of what it... I was like, I think that's his name, right? I was it's
the
guy from
Bomer
White Collar.
I'm not really sure how you pronounce his last name for sure, but yeah, I know who you're talking
I just didn't know. I was like, I'm not sure if I have his name right. But I was like, I know it's the guy from White Collar.
He's been in a few things, yeah. Because I've never seen White Collar, but that is a name. That is an actor who's good looking. But yeah, so it just seems like a very strange casting for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it also sucks because I know how much Henry Cavill loved The Witcher.
Yeah.
Like, the man's is a walking, talking historian on The Witcher lore. Like, he loves the games, he loves the books, he begged for the part of Geralt, so it's just like, what did you do, Netflix, to make him leave? But, like, if you listen to news or his interviews or anything, you know that he's been fighting with the writers of that show for all 3 seasons. Because it's been come out, like, the writers disdainly don't like the source material for The Witcher, and they don't...
Why didn't they get a new writing team?
Right? Like, they hate it, and they, like, mock it. And Henry Cavill has been fighting them on it for all 3 seasons. So I'm imagining something in season 3 must have really pissed him off that they did. And, like, spoiler alert, and you don't care about spoilers, I know. But at some point, Roach, who is Geralt's horse, dies. And so there's, like, a funeral for Roach. And Henry literally had to, like, go head-to-head with the writers to not make them make jokes during that scene. Like, they wanted to write in jokes at Geralt's best friend's funeral. Like, dead horse jokes and shit. And Henry's like, absolutely not.
Yeah, no. It's supposed to be a serious...
So I can't blame him for leaving. But it sucks because I don't think there could have been anyone better for Geralt.
Yeah, and they should have gotten... If the writers didn't like what they were writing, get a new team of writers.
Like, why are you there?
That sucks.
Yeah, so I don't see season 4 of The Witcher going very well. It was a shame because I like The Witcher stuff too. Now I guess I need to read the books just so I can see what happens.
How it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just saw that TikTok today that they were replacing him with Liam Hemsworth, and I was like, okay.
Odd choice. Odd
very odd choice.
It's gonna be so weird. Does he even wear a wig in anything he's ever done?
No, I was like, if you're gonna pick a Hemsworth, like, at least Chris Hemsworth is
They couldn't afford him.
No, they couldn't, but...
They absolutely couldn't afford him. Which I did see on Twitter, I guess it was like a year ago, someone tweeted a joke tweet. They were like, like they're just doing like an Imagine pair, like comedy thing. It was like something along the lines of Geralt of Rivia, but with an Aussie accent. And then today they tweeted, like quote tweeted it, and caps were like, "Oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry.
I did not mean to manifest this."
And I was just like, "Oh, that's actually kind of funny." And then they called me and they were like, "And it wasn't even the right brother. I'm sorry." Like, oof.
That is so funny.
But also, like, poor Liam, he's gonna get a lot of hate for this.
Yeah.
And it's not his fault.
Yeah, don't send any hate to Liam Hemsworth. He's just there to do a job.
He just wants a job, but...
Yeah, he just wants to work. I don't feel like he's been in a lot of stuff recently. This may be his only chance he's got.
Honestly, yeah. Other than the Hunger Games, I'm like, what do I even know him from?
He was in, like, one of those teeny bopper movies with Miley Cyrus. Like, they were in a romance movie back when they were dating.
Were they? Okay. That maybe sounds vaguely familiar. I don't know if I ever saw it.
But yeah, like, other than the Hunger Games and, like, when he was dating Miley Cyrus and, like, was in romance movies with her,
he just
like...
kind of disappeared into the ether.
There he goes.
Oof. Oh, to be a younger, second best brother. I get it. I, too, am a younger sibling.
I'm not.
You're top. You're top.
I'm the best.
There's that humble again.
I don't think I can talk about the new thing on the podcast because I think it's like a confidential issue.
Okay.
With the new job. Like, I'm not sure that I'm allowed to, like...
Yeah, that's fine.
But
there is news there?
There is news there.
You'll have to tell me later.
I did excellent in my interview. So now we're setting up the next steps.
Yay!
So that's exciting. I'm really excited about that.
That is nice.
Yeah, and then I'm like, then I have a lot of tea, which I'm also probably not allowed to say on the podcast.
A lot of tea?
A lot of tea.
Could you say, like, pertaining to what? Or not even that?
Maybe not. Let me write it down and show you.
I don't know if I should be intrigued or scared. Or both. Well, while you're doing that, when I was waiting for you to get here, I was just scrolling through TikTok. And I saw a TikTok that made me feel really old. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good tea or bad tea?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not.
Uh-oh. Okay. All right. I guess we will need that second bottle of wine. Okay. We'll talk about that later.
And you can leave that part in. I like the vague, like...
Okay. That's fine.
It's like, you know how when people make the TikToks that it's like the audio from that one musical, it's like, you didn't hear this from me.
Oh, yeah,
but somebody... And then they, like, turn around and, like, tell what's happening to the other people, but you can't hear it, and you just get to see their reactions. And I'm like, yes.
It is that vibe, yeah. I like it. All right. Interesting. But, like I was saying, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I made myself feel really old. Because I saw this, I'm assuming a Gen Zer, because they did this hand motion. Which is just a thing I associate with Gen Z.
Oh, yeah, that...
The, like, waving the fingers open mouth
yes.
thing. So they were doing this, and it was showing an episode of Gossip Girl.
Uh-huh.
So they were playing it, and it was, like, early Gossip Girl, episode 3, I think. And it was playing GLAM, Glamorous.
Yeah.
And she was freaking out, and she was like, this came out in... Whenever it came out, I can't remember, 2002, 2007. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, someone please explain, Gossip Girl. How do you know this? And then she pulls up her Spotify. And I'm thinking, okay, she's going to pull up Fergie, Glamorous. But apparently, someone this year, some man remade Glamorous in 2022. And she thought that was the OG creator of Glamorous. And I was like... I did not need this today on top of my day.
No!
Why are you coming for my age like that? But she played it and everything, and it was just this man doing, like, a very metal, like, and it was so weird, and I was like, that is not Fergie Ferg.
How do people not know who Fergie is?
My mind, my jaw.
I'm shook.
It was, I went to the comments to make sure I was not alone, and thankfully it was a bunch of other millennials like, this is a satire, right?
Like, this is a joke. This is a bit. This has to be a bit.
So that happened to me right before you got here, and I was like,
Oh, no.
well, okay.
That's okay. I spent 3 hours on TikTok this morning because, like I said, I didn't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I did not get out of bed until 11:30. I have not stayed in bed past 10 a.m. in like 3 years.
You know.
But this morning, I did not get out of bed until 11:30.
Sometimes you need that, and you deserve that. Everyone, stay in bed if you can. And
I still woke up at like 8 a.m. but I just scrolled through TikTok for 3 hours.
I've definitely done that. I've also done the opposite. I'm like, I'm going to go to bed early tonight, and I'll just go and scroll on TikTok until I pass myself out. So it's fine. Do what you need to do for you. I did a lot of TikToking today after my nap. Because I was like, I don't really want to do anything.
Yeah. And it's like we couldn't have like prepared anything for this. Like, because we didn't have.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like I've been so mindless this week. Because it doesn't give me the like, oh shit, I got to get this done. It's like.
Yeah.
What do I do? What do I do with my day?
How do I have a normal day?
So then I just ended up on TikTok this morning, and then when I finally got out of bed, I did not eat breakfast. I had a cup of coffee that I let get cold, which I never do. I usually always finish my coffee. I did not. And then I binge watched Sidemen videos and played Homescapes all day.
What is Sidemen?
Sidemen?
Yeah.
They're a UK YouTube group.
Oh, okay.
There's some.
Are they like your commentary peoples?
No, they are actually not. Now they do have so they have Sidemen is their main channel. Then they post every Sunday, and then they have more Sidemen, which is their second channel, and then they have Sidemen Reacts, which is their third channel, and then they all have individual channels as well.
It's a lot of channels.
Yes. But they've been like a YouTube group for 8 years now, and I think I've been a fan of them for 6 or 7, like not since the beginning, but very close to the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I've been a fan of them for a long time.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was just binge watching a bunch of their videos and rewatching some of them. I would just like click one in the recommended, like every time I finish one, you know how in YouTube, like all of the other ones. And I would just click another one even if I had already watched it, just because I was like, I need this today.
I've definitely done that.
Yeah, they're like a UK group. The individual is KSI or JJ, and then Mini Mentor, who is Simon, Roach Shaw, Harry, Bazinga, Ethan, Vicstar123, which is Vic, and then Zerka, which is Josh, and Toad Jizzle, just Toby. Like, make sure I got them all.
Yeah, it's a lot to have 3 main channels and then individuals for everyone.
Mm-hmm. They put in work.
I was going to say, that's a lot of work.
Yeah. And Ethan just had a baby, and Vic is engaged, and Simon and Talia are engaged, or maybe they also just got married. I can't remember if I can't remember if they got married or not. I know they're engaged for sure.
Nice.
So that's what I've done today. Just a whole lot of nothing.
That's fair. I burnt myself very badly somehow today. And that's why okay. So it's still Halloween when we're recording this, so tomorrow is actual Halloween. I don't know if you know, we're actually staying on top of recording our episodes in advance for a while now.
We're trying. I almost was like, well, we can double record next week.
Even then, we still would be above, because we still have a new one. We're doing pretty good. So tomorrow is actually legit Halloween, but this will come out in the middle of November.
Mm-hmm.
So the local art house theater is playing Scream, so we were gonna go with some of my other friends, and then I ended up having a full-on anxiety attack, and I was like, nah, I can't drive, so I wasn't gonna go. But the way it started, so I was fine, but I don't love driving, and so I was already stressed about driving down there, and especially in the rain.
Why didn't you ask me to come get you?
It's fine, because I can drive. I used to do this shit all the time, but lately, I don't know. Driving just freaks me out these days, and I haven't driven in 6 months.
Yeah, which is fine. But I would have come to get you.
That's fine. But I was also I can do this. I'm stupid. I don't need to prove much to myself that I can do this. But it was already a little bit of anxiety back in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay, fine, whatever. So I started getting ready, and then I went to put my contacts in. And as soon as my right contact hit my eye, burning pain. I closed it, and it was fine. I tried my left one, same thing, but like 10 times more intense. I couldn't get the contact in because it was like setting my eyeball on fire.
Been there.
This has happened a couple of months ago, where the same shit happened. I still don't really know. I'm assuming something, because I eat a lot of spicy food, and like, the only thing I can attest to this one is maybe I had a party last night and I made jalapeno poppers, and I think maybe I had jalapeno juices on my contacts, because when I was making them, I did think one squirted in my eye a little bit when I was wearing my contacts, and I didn't like flush it out, like, so that's my bad. So I think it was still on there, and so when I touched my eye last night to take them out, there was the burning, and then even though it sat in the cleaner all night, it still was there. So I was like, okay, so I threw this contact away and got a new one, because the last time my eyes did this, replacing the contacts helped, because it was like something on the contact.
Yeah.
I did it for this one again, still a burning fucking sensation, and I just could not keep it in. And it was like burning. I was trying to force myself into it, but it just kept burning. And I was like, this is probably not good for my eyes. So I eventually took it out. I was going to wear glasses. I was like, all right, whatever. So I started doing my makeup. And then my fingers started to burn. Like, these two fingers went numb, and they felt like they were on fire. And I didn't know if that was also from the jalapeno juice. Somehow, still, even though I, like, washed my hands and shit, I don't know. And then so eventually it just led to, like, me freaking out and having a full-blown, like, panic attack. So I was like, why are my fingers numb? And, like, I can't do anything. And so that was really fun. So it just led to a full breakdown. And then Richard had to, like, calm me down. And last time this happened, I actually had to go to the ER and get some medicine for this. So he's like, why don't you take one of your pills? And I was like, maybe, I don't know. So I didn't end up taking it, but my thought process with it was I didn't know if I could drink on it, since I knew we had to record, you know, drink wine and stuff. And if I went to the movie, it was a beer fest movie, so it came with a drink. And I was like, well, I also have to drink there. But I know the medicine also makes me really drowsy. For one, then I don't even know if I can drive, which I was already stressed about driving. And he's like, I'll take you. So we ended up looking it up and found out that essentially my anxiety medicine is just a really souped up antihistamine. So, I mean, the good thing about that is when I run out, I can just give myself Benadryl maybe to calm down from a panic attack, because all it really does is just makes me really sleepy. Calms me down that way. So that's the good news. And you can technically drink on it, but it just makes you even more drowsy. But I ended up not taking one because I was able to calm myself down. And then I was just like, I don't really feel like going to the movie though, because I still don't really want to drive. And then I took a nap. Well, before that, though, I had the fingers thing. It started to go away. But then I was like, why is my tongue burning? And Richard's like, you're fine. It's all in your head. So it was just a very whirlwind of emotions.
How old is your contact solution?
Brand new.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, because one of the things is that when I noticed mine were really bad with my contacts was my contact solution had expired. Because what had happened was I was like, oh shit, I need to go buy a new contact solution. And my mom went, your brother has a bottle he never touched because he never wore his contacts. And I was like, oh, you're right. So then I used that thinking, okay, it's fine. It's contact solution. You know, Brett hardly ever used it. Except he's got his contacts like back when we were in high school. So it was a really old bottle.
Oh,
and
gosh.
It took me forever to be like, oh shit, this is expired. And that's why my contacts aren't. And also I'm on my last pair of contacts. I need to go to the eye doctor.
Yeah, same. I went through and I have one more pair now, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm on my last pair of contacts.
I think I might isn't it like, I don't know, there's some like really cheap online contacts or something you can just order from. I don't know if it's legit or not anymore, but I remember hearing about it. I might just use my old prescription instead of going to the doctor. 'Cause I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't have insurance.
It's just, every time I go to the eye doctor, I have to change my prescription because every year I go, my eyesight gets worse. So I know I'm going to have to go.
But I know these still work. So I'm like, it'll be fine, I think, to just redo my prescription. Because these glasses are even below my contacts. So I've had my contacts updated before my glasses. So if I can still wear these and see fine, I think I can still get my old contact prescription and be fine for a little while. So I also don't wear my contacts every day anywhere. So I make them last. But no, the first time I ever did the, like, legit burning, like, I've had irritation in burning and it goes away, but this was to the intense pain to where I couldn't keep the contacts in. And, like, squeezing my eye made it worse. So it was like something was on it. And it happened the first time after I opened a brand new store-bought contact solution. So I thought it was the contact solution and did, like, test, and it was fine. But I just needed a new pair of contacts, even though they were new. But I think, again, something like an oil or something got on them. And then it happened again last night and today with these. But even the new one didn't work. And I think it's just because I forced that one contact on my eye. And I think the juice just stayed on my eye. So I'm going to give it a few days and then try again, I guess, and see.
Well, did you, not that you probably did, but did you make sure, like, you cleaned out the solution and everything, got new solution and cleaned out the case? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, because if it's floating around still in the solution, it's not going to help.
No, yeah. Did the full thing, so. Let's see, it was just a fun time. And it hurt very bad. I'm like, this can't be good for my eye. Especially if I'm just putting burning jalapeno juice directly on my eye. Probably should not.
See, it's like, and I need to wear my contacts because, especially on nights like tonight, because I have an astigmatism in my left eye.
Yeah.
And my glasses don't correct my astigmatism, but my contact does.
So why aren't you wearing your contacts?
Because I didn't feel like putting them in today.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm wearing my glasses. Which means when I drive home, if anyone has headlights that are coming at me, it's just going to be complete blindness. Like, because if an astigmatism, it doesn't reflect the light correctly.
Yeah. So
it just is like light blur all the way through my vision when I don't have my contact in correcting my astigmatism.
Yeah, I've never been diagnosed with astigmatism, but I definitely have a little bit of that, especially at night and rain. But it's not nearly probably not as bad as yours.
Oh yeah, no, literally if it's nighttime and I don't have my contacts in, any headlight or any like street lamp, it's just like, it's like light that goes all the way across because it doesn't reflect or the light correctly. So it's just like, I just can't see for a few seconds until I get past the light.
Great.
Yeah. It's fun out here.
She just didn't feel like putting them in.
Nah. If I get in a wreck, I get in a wreck. It'll be
fine.
No,
don't say that.
It'll be alright.
Stop.
What was it last week that I kept saying? Oh, me having a stroke.
Yes. Girl was out here asking for it.
There's something else I was going to say, but then I kind of forgot. It was about the Try Guys. I remember that. But I don't remember what it was about the Try Guys.
Something recent?
Mm-hmm. I can't remember what it was, but it was about the Try Guys.
I don't know if I've heard anything. I guess the last thing
I think it was just a funny tweet. Like,
they've been putting out some funny stuff. I think they have a new social media manager.
I think so.
And they've been fire. And also, Eugene posted his Halloween costume, and it was awesome. Or costumes.
Oh, yeah, it was like the Twisted Tea tweet, and then it's like... It said you're gonna see some branded content in a few weeks, and then it was like a picture from the like statement video that said, "Well, yeah, it is kind of weird."
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do for that money. Which you know, they lost a lot of money.
Yeah, and I liked this one. Coming to a spirit near you, Zach Cornfeld's brittle body.
Yeah,
handling spice. Eugene in the tripod.
Those were funny.
And it's like, well, see y'all later. Try Guys' new social media manager timeout.
Yeah, the spirit costume Halloween meme this season has been very fun. I've liked seeing all the different things people have done with it.
We went to Spirit Halloween last night before we ended up on our costumes. There was literally nothing there. Me and Lexi were both like looking down the aisles in Spirit Halloween, and we were like,
I was wondering this close to Halloween if you would have had any luck.
No. One, like, nothing was in my size. Everything was in, like, a 10-12, and I was like, I can't fucking wear a 10-12. And then the one thing that was in a plus size was, like, just, like, a white jumpsuit with, like, a belt and a headband, and it was, like, Sun Goddess, and I was like, no.
How? Yeah.
It was, like, a white jumpsuit with, like, a gold belt that had a sun on it, and then, like, a headband, a gold headband. And I was like, yes, this is so Sun Goddess.
That's why, like, I'll go to Spirit for accessories or, like, little things, but I just, buying a full costume is just not it.
Yeah, that's where we ended up getting her, like, her fingerless gloves for her blue costume. Was like, okay, well, we got that, and then we got her the dress, and we got everything else from Dillard's, and then I got my shoes from the shoe department in the mall.
Nice.
But then everything else came from Dillard's, because we were like, we don't know what else to do.
Fair. Yeah, some of those just buy costumes are so bad. But homemade costumes are where it's at. Like put together costumes.
Yeah, I felt like we made a very cute blue and Gansey.
I
feel like it worked.
I didn't know who you were, but it was cute.
That's okay. I don't expect you to, but and I know you're going to read them, but I want to save it for the podcast.
Okay.
Because I feel like all of our movies is all stuff that you've seen and I haven't.
Yeah.
And then so, like, I'm finally, like, ready for books where it's like, I've read these, but you haven't. And I'm so excited. And I want you. It's going to be great.
I'm for it. Yeah, that's the one thing we haven't spun this season yet.
I know.
I think it's the only thing we haven't spun.
Yeah, I think so. Because we did Paranormal. We've done Creators. We did movies twice. We did German for culture.
We've done movies 3 times.
We've done psychology, I think, 3 times this season. Done internet once. We've done random. Have we done music this season? Yes, because we did Lovejoy and Wet Leg. Oh, we haven't done cooking this season.
Very, very first of the season.
Oh, the very first of the season was cooking? Right.
It was like the second or third.
Gotcha.
It was St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and
yeah, I think
we've done true crime, and we've done history and mystical. Yeah, literally books is the only one we haven't done this season.
We did it like 3 times last season.
I know.
So it's weird.
Because we read a lot last season, but we have not read anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe.
Let's manifest it for our spin later.
Hopefully soon. Yeah, I mean, I would be down. I like reading. I finished my book for my other podcast.
Yeah, well, I've been reading the spin-off series because those books finally came out. Did I tell you about that?
Yes. Have you not finished them yet still?
Not yet. I'm almost done with the second book. But I found a TikTok that came up on my For You page that suggested that had like a little teaser for a book, and I was like, well, this is actually kind of interesting.
What was the book?
I don't know that I want to say it. It's only on Kindle, if that tells you anything.
I can talk about this. I read a bunch of these books, Skylar.
So, okay, it's by the author Gianni Holmes, and it's literally just like gay biker gang smut. It's like a 5-book series of just gay biker gang smut.
Do you know like what the series is called?
I don't know that there's an official series name.
I didn't know because like, you know, some series have a broad title.
But I'm on chapter 30 of book 1.
One of my favorite, like, book talk TikToks.
Oh, The Grim Tales of Smoky Vale.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not very well written.
They're not supposed to be.
It's not very well written at all. It's kind of cringe at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm still here for it. Trust me, I've already made it to chapter 30. I'm gonna stick with it. Like, there's not a part of me that's like, maybe I shouldn't read this. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna read the whole thing. Like, but that's kind of stopped me from reading the Dreamer trilogy because I would just keep reading gay biker mafia smut on my phone.
One of my favorite TikToks that I got on Book Talk is just because it's so true for me. But the caption is like, when you finish one chapter of a high fantasy novel and then you binge a whole Kindle smut book and it's the audio that's like, it's like a little treat. And I was like, this is me. I'll read like a few chapters of a very intense high fantasy novel and then I just go binge 3 books in a smutty series on my Kindle. Because it's a little treat.
It's a little treat.
Yeah, I'm currently reading one on Kindle that's, it's not mafia or bikers. It's like billionaires, but they're all based on like the 4 horsemen. Mm-hmm. And then it's like a girl they kidnapped. And I'm like, you know, this is not good writing, but I'm in it for the long haul.
We're in it.
I'm on book 3, so 3 or 4. I've been in it.
Yeah, there are 5 books in their series, and I'm gonna read every single one of them.
Oh yeah, so I'm definitely there with those types. I got it. I read.
Because here, I'll show you the TikTok, and I'm gonna let you guess what part of the TikTok is what was like the one that got me.
Okay. If you ever feel bad though, just know that I've read a 5-book series about a Cupid, who crash landed on a weird planet in another world of like half animal people with tails, and then they like mated and she went into heat. Like, that was a whole thing that I read 5 books of. So
love it.
There we go.
I mean, you saw
no judgment here on anything.
The one game I had on my Steam list, and I was like,
I will never judge anyone for anything they read. I'll be like, tell me about it.
But I was like, oh no. I was like, can you see my wish list? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, uh-oh.
He said, well, you can only be my friend.
You're the only person that's allowed to be my friend on Steam. No one else can add me.
I was like, please, you should see the games I've played.
But that's the TikTok.
Okay. Oh no, none of them look like a himbo. Is it the second one?
No.
Okay, not the adorable little...
No.
I was like, is this a Skylar thing? I don't know.
No.
Max?
Billionaire turned stripper? Yeah, that was the one.
Okay, that was my one. I was like, maybe this one.
Or stripper turned millionaire. Yeah. Yeah, that was
Billionaire
the one.
turned stripper.
Billionaire turned stripper.
He's like, no more of this life. That's the book I'm gonna write. I mean, people would probably read it.
But yeah, I was just like, And now I'm 30 chapters into book 1, and I was like, I'm not going anywhere. I was like, I'm in it.
What's happening?
Oh, literally a whole lot of nothing.
Is it just smut, no plot?
It's like...
Because I read a lot of that, too.
It's like, smut, someone almost dies. Smut, someone almost dies. Smut, someone almost dies. And I was
sounds like the books I'm reading right now, yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Calm down. But also, please keep going.
Yeah, and it's definitely very odd because apparently Jamie's best friend is named Joel, and it's his dad that he's hooking up with, is Joel's dad. Jamie's hooking up with Joel's dad. Apparently has been trying to hook up with this man since he was in high school. And he was always like, no, absolutely not. Like, no, we're not doing that. No. And then, like, I guess when Jamie came back from med school, he was like, still said no, but then Jamie kept going, and so it was like, it's not great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, and I've noticed, I feel like in a lot of these, because anytime it's like, ooh, dark romance on TikTok, or like the smut books on TikTok, it's like, none of it is healthy. And I'm like, you know what, and that's okay.
No, and you definitely please don't go into any of these books thinking they are healthy.
Yeah, this is not an example of a healthy, good relationship, but we're here.
In fact, most popular books, I would argue, aren't. Like, they're not real. Don't idolize a lot of your book boyfriends, please. They're not good people. Yeah, I like reading those types of books. I listen to a lot of audiobooks also.
I remember this. I remember this at work. No, but I remember when we used to work together, and you were like, listen, I'm just listening to smut right now. I was like, okay, I'm going to leave you to it. I'm going to go back to this drop-off. Sorry to disturb you.
And so the book that I was listening to when that happened, because I remember it now, that was Neon Demons.
Yeah, because wasn't it like Egyptian something? Or like it was like gods and... It was like some like mystical smut.
It was Neon Gods, and it was a Hades and Persephone retelling.
Nice. That's
what I was listening to. And it was fine. It wasn't too bad. There was a little bit of plot. I didn't love it.
Because it had plot?
No, I don't know. Hades and Persephone are so overdone. And like...
You have to do Hades and Persephone really well.
Yeah, and I know
if you're going to redo it, you have to do it really well.
That I do still want to read. And I do wonder about that one, since it's so popular, if physically reading it would make a difference to me. Because sometimes, also, I love audiobooks. And I'm not someone who's like, audiobooks don't count as reading. They absolutely do, because they're just easier to multitask stuff with, which I love. But a lot of times it's the narrator for me. Like, narrators make or break a book for me. And so I don't remember if that one was the narrator, or if it's just, maybe it's because I was at work and I couldn't really concentrate as much as I wanted to. But I wasn't in love with it. Mm-hmm. But I recently listened to another audiobook, which... funnily enough, is why I'm bringing it up. It's because it was the same book written by that same author. So it's Katie Roberts, and she is just like one of the queens of smut. her books are known for that. And she has this one series that's called A Bit Taboo or something taboo. And me having the praise kink that I do, and I also like when people sleep with people's dads, I had heard a lot about the book called Your Dad Will Do. And I was like, all right, let me listen to this because it was free. It's not, I didn't feel like reading it or whatever. I'm not even sure if that one's on Kindle. It might be. But it was on, like, I pay for a monthly thing where it just has a bunch of unlimited audiobooks. So I'm like, great, it's much cheaper than, like, Audible. So I found that on there. I was like, yeah, I'll listen to this. So basically the plot is this girl, she finds her fiance, she's cheating on her with his, like, secretary or something, his assistant. But she's always kind of had a weird crush on her fiance's dad. And so now, like, the book opens with her trying to seduce the dad, going to his house in, like, lingerie, and, like, it just doesn't, like, there's just sex from that point on into the book, which is fine. Never in my life have I heard the word daddy said so much in my ears. It was like every other sentence.
That's how it is with this, because it's constantly just every time I turn around, she's like, daddy. And I'm like, oh, God.
And I don't mind it when I'm physically reading it, but this is my first audio experience of it. And like 5 chapters in, and there was like 30 chapters of her just calling him daddy. And then at one point he tells her to, like, lock the doors because he's getting out of the car or something, and then she was like, that was such a dad thing to say, I almost came on the spot, and I was like, please don't. Oh my God. What the fuck is this line? And by the time I finished this book, I was like, this is called A Bit Taboo? What the fuck? Katie Roberts, girl, are you okay? It was just so unhinged, and, like, it was a fun time, but it was one of those books that I put my smut books on my Goodreads shelves. Like, if you know me, you don't, but you see everything I'm reading, because I don't fucking care. My Goodreads is connected to my Kindle, right? But this was one of those ones that I marked that I was reading it, and then I finished it, but I did not rate it. I just shelved it without rating it, because I was like, I honestly don't know how to rate this.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I rate books, it's like some 1 to 5 on Goodreads. Which I hate Goodreads because they don't have half stars, which is why I like Storygraph, is because you can do half stars on there. And Storygraphs also ask you questions like, is this plot or character based? And, like, it, like, asks you questions to, like, help you remember the book, which I think is nice. But Goodreads, it doesn't do anything. It's just like, give it a 1 through a 5. And I'm like, I don't know. Because for me, if I rate a book 2, it means I really didn't like it. 3 is just fine. And, like, 4 or 5 are like, yeah, I love it. But even for me, like, a 4-star is pretty much a 5-star because I so rarely give stuff 5 stars, even if I really do like it. And for this one, I was just like, I don't fucking know. I think it was a fever dream. Like, I don't know how to rate this. Like, I don't hate it. I like smut. I like daddy stuff. Like, I literally could not rate it. And I'm like, I'm just gonna shelve you away. Maybe I'll read you physically one day and it'll change. But the audiobook was so unhinged, and I was just like, please give this narrator a raise, because I could never.
I would be laughing the whole time.
I could never.
Yeah, no, I like audiobooks a lot, but it's definitely also very narrator heavy for me, because, like, The Raven Cycle, the audiobooks, I love them. Will Patton is a national treasure. He is fantastic.
I remember you've told me that you really like the
I
audiobooks.
love him. I liked the All for the Game series. I started listening to it on Audible, and I was like,
it's weird. It does make a difference.
It's read to you by a frat boy.
Oh, no.
Hold on. I want you to experience this with me.
And, like, in my experience, I am pickier about male narrators. See, I don't like that.
It's read to you by a frat boy.
Yeah. I'm much harsher on male narrators, and I will be the first to admit that, but it's just, I don't know. There are some who get it great. Like, I'm listening to The Silent Patient, which is a great audiobook, and it has a male and a female narrator, and he does a really good job. He's also British, which I think that makes a difference. But yeah, I am much harsher on male narrators, because I feel like they don't at least in my experience from when I listen to it, they don't take the effort as much to inflict different characters. Like
Will Patton does that.
Do.
Like, what you will like Will Patton.
Okay. And, like, as much as, like, I cringed with Your Dad Will Do, she put in the effort with her narrator. Like, I knew who was speaking. I knew who was saying, which of them was saying daddy. Like, I knew where this was going. And I appreciate that.
So the book They Both Die at the end, I listened to that on audiobook.
Okay, I want to read that. Don't ruin it for me.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I won't.
Is it... Oh, no. I've heard mixed things about it. I know it was really overhyped, and people were like, this is my favorite book, and people were like, this was way overhyped. Where do you fall, just on that scale?
It made me cry.
Okay. For you, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means I was emotionally invested.
It's on, I think, my bingo board on my other podcast for me and Missy to read, so.
Yeah. Well, it's narrated by Michael Crouch, Robbie Damon, and Bonnie Turpin. I listened to that when I was working, and it was after you had quit, and I finished it on my birthday of this year. So my birthday of 2022. That was the day I finished it. I cried like a little baby at work. Narrators? But yeah, literally sobbing on my birthday at work. And Morgan was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "I just finished the book." And because I'd been talking about it. And she was like, "I love that you can get into reading that much." And like, she didn't make fun of me. And I was like, oh, thanks. But I was like, but yeah, I sobbed.
I love
and now every time I listen to American Pie, I cry.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
And I'm not going to say anything else.
Okay.
But every time I listen to, and I used to love the song American Pie by Don McLean. It was a good song. But now every time I listen to American Pie by Don McLean, I cry.
That book, it's been on my to-read list for a really long time. So now that I know it's on there, I'm like,
do it.
I have so many books on my to-read list. Book Talk has killed me. But they've also given me really bad recommendations. And not even, like, the smut. Like, those are usually
exactly
great,
what they're supposed to be.
But it's just, like, legit, like, come for me, people, but I still can't get into Six of Crows. I'm sorry. Like, I'll try again one day, but it was not it for me.
Yeah, I got that duology that's part of Six of Crows. The 2 books, because everyone said that if you're going to read the series, because there's like 3 separate series that all go together, but everyone's like, read the duology.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. I started it. I can do it. I was like,
yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, it was so hyped up. I was so excited. It was like, when I was first getting back into the reading, it was one of the ones after the series that got me back into reading. I went straight to
ACOTAR?
ACOTAR. I went straight to that one because I was like, okay, yeah, this was about as hyped on Book Talk as ACOTAR was. I was like, great. I got like 3 chapters in. I was like, I am not feeling like this. So one day I'll try to like make myself finish it, but there's just smut treats I could be reading instead, you know? Like little treats for my brain. Because smut's so nice because you don't have to try. You just look at the words.
Yeah.
And you don't have to think about anything. And I love that.
You just get to read about people boning and it's fine.
Especially on my Kindle, because I read my Kindle most when I'm laying down for bed. Mm-hmm. So that's how I, like, make myself tired, is I'll go to bed and I'll just, because I have the Paperwhite, so it's not, like, the bright light. It's actually the light that helps you sleep. Mm-hmm. So I'll just read, like, 5 chapters of my little smutty book, and then I'll fall asleep peacefully like a baby, and it's great. Love that for me.
Yeah, and see, and I read it at work, because when it's slow at work and I'm just standing there because there's nothing else to do, I can just read it at work.
Nice. Well, see, I listened to smut at work, and now you read it at work.
Yeah, well, I mean, I probably could, because if I wear my hair down, I can, like, kind of put my headphones in and...
Sneaky smut.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll wear my hair up, and I'll still put my headphone in. I'm like, I don't even care. Customers walk up to me, I'll talk to them. They can see I have my headphone in. I'm like, whatever.
It's fine.
If they ask me about it or say anything about it, I'm just going to be like, oh, I just have it in case I get a phone call, because customers have my phone number, so if they need me for anything, so that way it's ringing. I can hear it ring. That's going to be my excuse.
There you go. Look at you. I can't lie.
I mean, just because I make up a lie, I haven't had to use it yet. I don't know if people are going to believe me, but...
Say it with enough confidence, people pretty much will believe anything.
Yeah.
I've learned.
Well, a lot of times, customers will ask me questions at work, and I just say something. And I, like, black out while I'm talking, and I'm like...
Love that.
And I'm like, and they go, oh, okay. And then I'm like...
Great.
I have no idea if that was true or not. I was like, I just made something up.
Love that.
I'm not actively trying to lie. I'm just like, this seems like the best answer. I'm like, I don't know.
Let's go with this. It's like that one episode of
It's like, I could just be like, oh, I don't know, I'll ask somebody. But then I'm like, nah. I'm just like, here's what I'm going to say.
I just imagine that one episode of SpongeBob. I don't even know what was happening in the context, but it's like in his brain. And there's a bunch of just little SpongeBobs running around, going to different filing cabinets, and everything's on fire. And they're just trying to find something to say to give to the mouth part. And I'm like, this is what it's like. Just grab at anything to lie.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just make shit up. I'm just like, sure.
That sounds good. Let's go with that.
And typically they do believe me. They're just like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right.
Bye now.
And then I'll be like, oh yeah, and then it'll come up later and I'll be like, oh yeah, I just told someone that like this is how, and they were like, that's not how it works at all. I was like, well, I just fucking lied to that person then, because that's what I told them.
Whoops. We almost have gone an hour of talking about nothing.
I know. I felt like it was kind of like we were nervous about it, but we do this all the time. Like,
yeah, now we're just allowed to. So it feels weirder somehow.
Yeah, because we can literally just go from like, there have been times we finished recording and then sat here talking for like 2.5 hours before eventually I was like, okay, I need to go home.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was fine.
Yeah.
Even if it was a bunch of random and a weird smut tangent, it's fine.
It's okay.
We did all the topics. All the important stuff. Henry Cavill. The Henry Cavill to smut pipeline, which honestly...
it tracks.
Makes sense. And it's not that big of a pipeline, I don't think.
I feel like when you think of Henry Cavill, you're like, sexy.
He could play any character he wants.
Yeah, I love him. I still can't believe he was in Count of Monte Cristo.
He's been a lot of stuff you just don't even think about.
He was such a baby, though, in Count of Monte Cristo, because that came out forever ago. He's just a baby.
I have not seen that movie in so long. I feel like we've talked about this also.
We have, yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know the last time I watched it.
We have definitely talked about it before, because I was telling you how the first time I watched it, was
that
with
like your dad's favorite movie?
Yeah, my dad, because my dad loves Alexander, whatever the fuck his last name is, wrote Count of Monte Cristo, wrote The Three Musketeers. It's Alexander something. But yeah, my dad was watching Count of Monte Cristo, and I fell asleep on the couch while we were watching it. Because I was like, this is boring. But then I had to watch it in psychology, because we were doing the morality unit. So we watched the movie, and then the, like, 3 characters she assigned to us, we had to, like, talk about their morality and, like, if technically they were moral or not based off their motivations. And it was, like, motivations and morale. And morality was like cool. The combined. I got a 100 on that assignment.
I have a feeling you got 100 on most of your assignments, because that's your type.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know how much of a flex that was, but I feel like that's just your personality.
Well, in psychology especially. Like,
yeah, that is like your thing.
Now, granted, there was one in biology. I took a test. I got a fat 0 on that test. I missed every single question. It was the oxidation segment. It was the oxidation test that we did in freshman biology. I got a fat 0 on that. And then my biology teacher, she asked me if I was going to take AP Bio my senior year, and I was like, no. And she was like, why not? You didn't sign up for because she was like, well, you didn't sign up for AP Bio. I was like, I'm not taking it. She was like, why not? I was like, I got a 0 on one of your tests in regular biology, well, in honors biology. Do you really think I'm going to take AP Bio? She was like, you should sign up. I was like, no, thank you.
Absolutely not.
I was like, no.
Thank you for asking.
It's not happening.
Yeah. I went to Oktoberfest at our local brewery when it was Oktoberfest here. And I saw my French teacher there, and she kept looking at me like she knew me, and we just kept making eye contact for like an hour. And eventually she waved, and I was like, hi. But I don't think she ever liked me, so that's why I was just like, why is she looking at me?
She was ready to fight.
But it was like, I was always good at French. Because I took French all year, and I did AP French, and I'm like, stop staring at me. But I was also, I'm very old, so it's been a very long time since I've been in high school. And I was just sitting there thinking, drunk on all this beer. I was like, please don't come speak French to me because I will not know anything. I was very paranoid she was going to come speak French to me. And I was like, I'm going to disappoint you, woman. Don't do it.
I was always good at psychology and English and my language classes. I was good at Spanish, which I don't remember any of my Spanish, but I was good at it when I was in school, and then I was good at French
when I was in school. Yeah, I like placed at competitions.
Yeah.
I could recite poems. Like, yeah, I did the damn thing. I was always good at French, English, and art. Those, go figure, those were my niche.
Yeah, I was very good at my psychology classes, my English classes, my language classes, and then
geography and history were not it for me, homies.
I was decent at history. I was okay.
I just didn't care. Like, I like history a lot more now because I get to pick what I learn about. And it's not the textbook washed down Americanized version of history. So history is a lot more fun now, and we research it for like the pod and stuff.
Yeah.
But geography never was and still is not my forte. Even though I like love traveling, I don't know shit about geography. I don't know shit about America, like, because I don't care.
I think I'm pretty decent at geography. It kind of depends. I'm decent at it. I'm good at math, but I'm good at linear math. I was never good at geometry and, like, trig. I was good at like, algebra and calculus. Like, I like to call them linear math and picture math. I was good at linear math. I was not good at picture math.
I was always really good just at math, but I didn't want to be. So like my math and like trig and geometry, it was the same teacher and she always loved me, and I'm like, please stop talking to me. I don't want to be good at math. I just want to get my grade and move on. And she's like, you're gonna take AP math or AP calculus. I was like, no, I'm not, because I don't want to.
I did. I took AP stats and AP calc.
She tried to get me, and I was like, I'm gonna do art. Like, I'm gonna do AP art and like 3 other art classes. Thanks.
My sophomore year, I took 2 AP math classes.
She tried. She tried.
Or no, my sophomore year, I took 2 math classes, and 1 was AP, and then I took AP Calc. But I literally had honors algebra 2, went to lunch, and then came back and took AP Stats.
That sounds like hell.
And then I was not good at science, but I had a 108 in my physics class because he kept giving us busy work, and so like, when he would give us homework, and he was like constantly giving us homework and never gave us any tests and gave us worksheets that we could like use the book for. So I was just like racking up those 100s from just being able to use the textbook on all this busy work and homework. I ended up with a 108. So by the time finals came around, answered the first because I needed a 3% on the final to keep an A in the class. Answered the first page of questions, turned it in, took a nap the rest of the 2 hours. And then I had a sleep paralysis episode while I was taking a nap.
Oh, no.
So that was fun. That happened to me in school all of the time.
Oh, my gosh.
Because in algebra, every time we were in algebra, I would finish my test in like 15 minutes. And so I would sleep until lunch. But I would have sleep paralysis episodes where the bell would ring, and then I would get up and, like, walk towards the lunchroom, and then something weird would happen in the dream, and I'd be like, oh, shit, I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. And then the bell would ring, and then it would start over and over until the actual bell rang and, like, jerked me out of it. But then there was one in when I fell asleep after the physics final, my friend was trying to get me to wake up, and I kept trying to move my hand, and I was thinking I was moving my hand, but I wasn't. And I was like, this is cool.
God, yeah. Sleep paralysis is wild. It fucks me up.
But ever since I've had Bo sleeping in my bed, I've not had a sleep paralysis episode or seen my sleep paralysis demon ever since he's been in there.
Nice. I haven't. I think we talked about this when we covered it on our first psych.
Yeah.
I've never had an issue ever since I started wearing a sleep mask.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's helped me. Which now I can't sleep without a sleep mask. Otherwise I freak myself out. But yeah, I used to have bad sleep paralysis, demons everywhere, pirate guys.
Yeah, I remember your pirate guy.
No,
mine was always
smiling at me.
The guy in the top hat with a knife who would just walk slowly towards me.
Top hat guys, classic.
There's one time though, my brother could hear me screaming because I would always scream whenever, and it was like a weird scream. It wasn't like a real scream. It was just like I could hear myself screaming. And it was just like, ah, ah,
like how Google screams.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly like that. But I guess one night my brother was still up playing video games and he heard me and he went and got my dad and was like,
something is happening.
Something is going on in there.
That would be wild.
So my brother and my dad both came into my room and like turned on my light and were like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I don't know. They were like, we heard you screaming. And I was like, did you?
What are you talking about?
I'm like, I don't know, man. Must have been a weird dream. And it was.
Oh. Yeah, fun side note. If you have a Google Home, I don't know if Siri or like anything does it, but if you have a Google, please say, hey Google, scream. Or can you scream? Or just ask your Google to scream. You won't be disappointed.
Hey Siri, can you scream?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Siri, you're not it.
No. So
but
just
Google, just do it. You won't be disappointed. It's so fun.
I love my little Australian Siri.
Yeah, that was very fun. Very wild. So I was like, that's not what my Siri sounds like.
No, I set mine to the Australian guy because the lady was getting on my nerves.
I don't ever talk to my Siri, so it's usually not a problem.
Mine is usually, I use maps a lot. Because I go a lot of places that I need to use Google Maps for and or Apple Maps for, and every time it'd be like, turn left here. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's like the most I think I ever use it. And I just haven't traveled in a long time. So yeah, I haven't used it.
Yeah, no, I typically don't use my Siri. Although one time, I saw this thing that I totally fell for. It was like, if you say this to your Siri, and then it started calling 911, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay. Did I ever tell you about the time I accidentally contacted 911? Mm-mm. It was back, I don't know, I think I set up something on my phone to where if you hit this button on the side like 3 or 5 times, it just calls 911 for you. And my phone was frozen. So I kept hitting my buttons trying to get my phone to unfreeze. And the time it did, I was on the phone with 911. And I didn't know that. And so I hung up. And then 911 sent me a text message. And they were like, we're sending someone to your location. And I was like, please don't. And I was so stressed because it was my phone. It was not even my last phone, which was very old. It was my phone before that, which was a very fucked up frozen phone. Like I said, it kept getting frozen. Mm-hmm. So if you click your side button on an Apple iPhone, apparently it calls 911 if you do it so many times.
See, I thought it was like, I know because like sometimes on mine, like when I would be like, when mine would lock and stuff and like wouldn't, and I would hit it, it would be like, call 911. It would like say like swipe to use emergency.
Mine just did it.
Oh no, mine always says swipe to use the emergency contact.
So I don't know if it was something with the amount of times I did it, because I think I saw, it might have been something I set up because I honestly can't remember. This was years ago, but I think I set something up to where if you do that, it's like a sneaky way to contact 911. If you're ever like in a bad situation, you could just like hit the button like 5 times or something, and it does it for you. So I was accidentally doing that because my phone was frozen and I was just trying to get it to work. And then they like texted me and they're like, we're coming or something. I was so freaked out. I was so stressed. And so I texted my friend who works at 911. I was like, I did this. Is this a problem? And she was like, this actually happens a lot. I think it's fine. Since I like responded, I was like, please no. Or I was like, no, or something. And they never showed up, so I don't know if that's good or bad that they never showed up. But it was like one of the scariest moments because I was never that kid that like accidentally called 911. This was like my first time when I was a full-grown adult. I was like, what does this mean? What's gonna happen to me that I accidentally called 911? They're gonna think Richard's abusing me or something. I don't know. Like, I was so scared.
Yeah, mine has, luckily, it always, like, if I'm doing that, it will be like, do you want to use, like, the emergency, like, slide to use your emergency SOS, which calls 911. And I'm like, no. So then I'm able to exit out of it. I'm like, no, please don't.
See, I think I've had that too, but this one, it was just like, and by the time I looked, I'd already been on the phone with them for like a minute. And that's what was scary. And then I just hung up. I didn't say anything. I just hung up out of stress. And then it was like, someone is coming to your location. I was like, oh God, no.
Well, did I tell you about the time I accidentally got on a drug crisis line?
No.
So, I was writing. Yeah, I was just, doing a little writing.
Okay.
So one of my characters is a recovering drug addict. I was like, okay, so I was doing a little research on, like substance.
Classic writer research.
Yeah, classic writer research. We've all heard the memes. So I was just on websites, like, doing some research and, like, trying to, like, research on certain substances and research on substance recovery and, like, kind of how that looks. And a little text box popped up and was like, hi, we are a crisis line. We're here to help you. And I went, oh, no, I'm so sorry. I don't need a crisis line. And they were like, no, we're here to help you. Like, do you need... And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I'm just doing, like, research for a book. I do not need a crisis line. And they're like, oh, well, you can't use a crisis line for research. And I was like, I wasn't trying to use the crisis line. It just popped up. I don't know what happened. So now I might be on a watch list. I'm not sure.
When those pop-ups happen, you can just ignore them.
Well, it was like some guy named David. And I was like, I'm sorry, David. Like, I don't need you.
I feel like that's what someone in crisis would say. You're not supposed to do that.
And that's why, and I was like, no, I don't need you. I was like, and then he's like, no, we're here to help. Like, and I was like, no, I'm really, like, I'm just doing research. And he was like, well, you can't use a crisis line for research. And I was like, I wasn't trying to use the crisis line. So now I might be on, like, a drug watch list. I don't know.
That's great. I mean, that's just the joy of being a writer, I hear.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not even someone who's like, I get paranoid when I smoke weed, and I've never done any hard drugs. Like, I am not, like, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, some guy offered me shrooms at a party, but I told him no, because I didn't know who he was, and I didn't want his shrooms.
That's fair. I think I've only ever had one really bad trip in my life, and that's because I was pretty sure my weed was laced. Not fun.
Yeah, it's like, I've, like, only smoked weed 3 times, and one of those times was on accident.
I was taking a drink of my wine.
Yeah, I almost killed Brittany.
I mean, not good, depending on the circumstances, I guess.
So the first 2 times made me really paranoid, so I was like, weed's not for me.
Yeah.
And if weed is gonna make me paranoid, I probably don't need to do any harder drugs.
No.
Like, I drink a lot, but I don't ever do drugs. So this past Christmas of 2021 that we just had,
Okay. Yes.
I accidentally smoked weed and then I ruined Christmas.
Why have I not heard this story?
I don't know, because I feel like I tell it to everybody.
It's fine, we're not friends.
You constantly say we're not friends, no matter how hard I try and say we are friends.
Clearly, I don't know the way you ruined Christmas of 2021. We're not friends.
This is also when you didn't let me in your house for like 6 months because the basement was like flooding and then everything broke.
That's the story of my life.
And then so it's not really a story I want to text. Like, and then by the time we got back into recording, it was already summer. It had been 6 months.
Make your excuses.
Okay, I will. But no, so we're having a Christmas party at the Brigade. The Brigade was closed. It was just like, regulars who had been coming in a whole lot. So, like, we knew them. We knew their names, friends, family of the bartenders, and, my dad's family, Johnny's family. Whole Christmas party just for, like, the people.
Yeah.
The peeps. The peeps. The homies. Well, my friend, who's the lead singer of the band, like, my friend's band, he's the lead singer.
Yes.
He comes up to me and he's like, hey, Skylar, you want to take a hit off my vape? So me thinking it's just like, because, I'm friends with like my friends Bree and Jacob who they also vape and they have nicotine vapes and they like sometimes have different flavors because they have like the mods that have all these different flavors. Whereas I just smoke like regular menthol Juul pods. I'm like thinking and normally like Bree and Jacob, if they're like, hey, you want to hit off my vape? It's to like, let me see how it tastes, like how that flavor is. So I figured that's what this was.
Right.
And as I'm taking a hit, already have it in my mouth, already have the button held down. He goes, it's sativa, which is all I smoke nowadays. And I went, oh. And I had been holding it down for a long time because when I first took like a little hit, I was like, that didn't do anything. Like there was like no smoke came out. I was like, this was not a hit. Yeah. So I'm sitting there holding it down, going like, Like, because trying to get it to work.
Yeah.
Turns out it was weed.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, maybe I just took one hit. Maybe it'll be fine. It was not fine. Because, like, whenever I've taken a hit off of, like, a blunt, you know, if I just take, like, one little hit, like, it doesn't do anything. Like, it's fine. Well, not in a vape, because it's much more concentrated.
Oh, yeah.
In a vape. So, 20 minutes later, I was fucked up. My limbs started feeling heavy.
Were you also drinking?
Yes!
So you were, crossfaded?
I had so much wine. I had, like, 2 bottles of wine at this point.
Skylar.
And my limbs started feeling heavy. I had to go sit down in the back, like, with the chair just leaning over one of the giant trash cans.
No.
Threw up.
Oh.
And it was, like, to the point where everything was so loud, and I could hear every little sound to where it was like I couldn't hear anything at all. And, like, I couldn't feel my body. Like, I didn't know where I was. Like, it was awful. For 2.5 hours. Now, once the 2.5 hours passed, I was like, okay. So I got back up, I went out, I ate, everything was fine. But for 2.5 hours, I was fucked up.
Oh.
It was bad. So that was the time I accidentally smoked weed.
Yeah.
And then I ruined Christmas because 2 days later, our old boss sent me home from work because I was not looking too good.
Okay.
Turns out fucking Luke had the flu and gave me the flu when I took a hit off his vape. And so then I ruined Christmas because nobody could come to our house for Christmas because we always host Christmas. So no one could come to our house for Christmas because I had the fucking flu. Thanks to Luke and his stupid weed vape. And gave me the flu. So yeah, in the span of like 3 days, I accidentally smoked weed and then ruined Christmas.
It's like a children's Christmas book. Don't do drugs, kids.
If you ever want a bedtime story, there you go.
I don't know. Somehow we have to make that into a shirt. I don't know how, but I love it. Sucky. And I'm glad you could laugh about it now, but...
We have Ugh Richard, and then it'll just be like, thanks, Luke.
Yeah. Well, it's called our We Hate Men series.
Yeah, it's our We Hate Men merch line. Ugh Richard, and thanks, Luke.
It's just a picture of Skylar throwing up in a trash can. I mean, we're an hour and 20 minutes in, man. I guess we should maybe wrap this up.
I mean, we can, yeah. This has been fun, though. I liked this.
I think it went... fun. Like, yeah, I don't know how fun it was to listen to, but it was fun to experience.
Yeah, it was fun to record. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, and we were so worried. But this might be one of our longest episodes in a long time.
Yeah, because typically they've been pretty short recently.
Like under an hour. Just because I cut out all of our ums and likes. Because I don't know if you guys know, we say like and a lot.
Yes. Yep.
So I try to cut it out when I can. Yeah, I guess...
Let me get our drink wheel ready.
I guess that was this. I hope you like this. If you
Yeah.
liked this, let us know. If you hated this, definitely let us know.
Yes.
Because so far, this is, I guess, what's gonna stay.
Yeah.
Because it worked, I guess.
It did. Like, I feel like we weren't like... I mean, there were a couple bits where we were like, oh, just like a little bit of silence. And then like we went right back into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens when you're such good friends. You can just talk about anything. Even though Brittany doesn't think we're friends, we are friends.
No, I'm just hearing about her Christmas story. So how much of a friend are we?
You kicked me out of your house for like 6 months.
I didn't kick you out.
No, she didn't. We just couldn't record because our recording space had gotten messed up.
We're back in our old space, which is work. Like, I don't know why we left. Literally, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I honestly feel like it sounds better up here. Like, I really do. I like it up here.
Yeah,
I think it was just because of the animals. Like, we were like, okay, well, we'll go downstairs so that way it'll be, like, less animal sound. But even then, it's like, I feel like it still sounds good up here.
Yeah, now you just get that realness, that richness you come to know us by.
There will be animal sounds in the background at all times. And if you're not used to it, that's a you problem.
She's sleeping so cute over there.
I
I'm
know,
gonna have
she's
to
just all
push her
curled
out
up
of
in
that
the
chair
chair.
soon.
Yeah, because we're going to be recording for the YouTube after this.
Yes, make sure you're checking out our YouTube. We're doing the Little Nightmares right now, and it's actually going pretty well.
Yeah.
So, views-wise. So,
I like it. Yeah.
You should go check that out with
That
everyone
TikTok
else.
got like quite a lot. I was
know.
like,
I'm glad everyone loves my stupidity.
it's always the TikToks where you're being
Or I'm dumb. I'm like, okay. Twist my arm to play that up. Not like it comes naturally or anything. Because I can make more. Because that whole Little Nightmares series so far is just me being dumb.
And me being like, no, I think we need to do this. And you're like, nah.
No, I got this.
And then you don't have it.
I literally have it.
Let's spin. I manifested that shit!
Okay, this is what it's like. We literally need a video recording because no one's gonna believe us.
No one is gonna believe us, but literally first spin. I manifested that shit. I am powerful. I am a queen. I am a goddess. Fuck with me and see what happens.
I guess I have to read the Raven cycle now. Because fuck if we didn't land on literature.
Should I spin again for the drink, though?
That's up to you. I mean, I really don't care.
Okay, we're gonna drink white wine
I mean, I have to say, it feels like this is your episode.
We're gonna drink white wine again next week, and we're gonna be reading the Raven Boys already. It's here. It's happening. So we're gonna read the Raven Boys. It's gonna be great. It's the first book of the series. We will not do the whole series on the audio podcast, but we will on Thursdays when we have bonus content for the podcast. We post those videos on Thursdays, whereas like our regular YouTube is on Tuesdays. So we will be doing book reviews of the other series to be posted on Thursdays.
Sounds good.
I'm so excited. This is the best day ever. I was depressed earlier. Kind of wanted to just not do anything. Kind of wanted to stay in bed. Now I'm living my best fucking life. I'm thriving.
Yeah, so it looks like it's literature. I don't... okay. So if you've been here for a while, you know our literature episodes are usually our longest episodes. And with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I know we split it.
Yes.
I can't say if for sure that is what's going to happen. But
because with Song of Achilles, we just posted like a 3-hour episode.
And that was really long, so I don't know. We'll use our judgment maybe on the day of recording to see.
Yeah, depending on, like, if it gets like maybe like 2.5 hours in and we're still not even close to being done, we may like be
Which honestly, I feel like Skylar's going to have a lot to talk about. So just as a warning, it very well could be a 2-parter, but not necessarily. So that's just something you'll have to stick around for. But yeah, just putting that out there, it could be, and because we're not saying it won't be. And if you're like, how does that work? We did it with Evelyn Hugo. Go back and listen to that. And it worked out fine, I think.
I think so.
It's fine.
And we can always double check week out to see which one people liked more.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess that's next week. Skylar's got the biggest smile on her face.
I'm so happy. I've been wanting this to happen for so long. Like, every time we spin, I'm like, please be literature. And then the first time we actually spoke it out loud, I'm like, hell yeah, fuck with me.
The Halloween spirits were good to us.
They were. And we'll continue because there's tarot, psychics. It's going to be fun.
So look forward to it.
And we've just dressed up as Gansey and Blue last night. Like
I said, you literally have just been manifesting this whole weekend. This whole spooky weekend. You did this.
And like Lexi's reading the Raven Cycle right now. And I actually gave the Raven Boys to Haley for her to read. So I will probably be buying it on Kindle. Because Haley currently has my book, but it's fine.
Okay, so we will figure that out. But next week, we're going to talk about a book. So now is your week advance to read it if you don't want it spoiled for you.
Yes.
Skylar's
But it's like, I also do want you to listen to it because I want you to listen to Will Patton because he's fantastic.
I'm sure if I like it as much as you feel like I will,
I really think, because
listen to it eventually.
I feel like you like Found Family.
I do. I love Found Family. That's why I like ACOTAR.
I love Found Family, and there's psychics, and there's tarot,
and I like that
and there's
shit
witchy.
too, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like you're going to love it.
I'm in it.
Okay. Anyways, if you'd like to find the podcast, you can find us at Sip and Spin Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Check out our YouTube. We are posting videos every Tuesday. And then we will also have bonus content now for Thursdays. And then if you would like to find Brittany, her ats are Whimsy Dream or Whimsy Dreams, depending on what's available. And if you would like to find me, I'm Gleam YKS on everything. But as always, the 3 link trees for myself, Brittany, and the show will be down in the description below.
Yes. And we thank you so much for listening.
Yes, thank you.
And hope you're ready to get bookish with us next weekend for Skylar's like literally favorite thing on this earth.
Literally, it's my everything.
If you like Skylar, you definitely want to listen next week.
I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun.
We'll sip with you then.
Bye.
Bye.